Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, let's sync up. What's going on? Welcome back. You're probably wondering why do I have meat sticks in my hand. I just got back from work and I haven't eaten, so I'm gonna try on this. And also was racing back here because, as you can see, we're losing daylight. Wanted this to be fairly quick. Shout out Armando, who I just watched his reflections of 2025. And I figured, it's been a minute since I've posted something on this channel. So just wanted to kind of update, set some timestamps. Let's do it. But we got to open this bad boy up. So, as I said in the beginning of this, I have come back from work. I'm also in a different place. If you've been watching for the past year, 2025, you would know this is not my apartment or my apartment complex. I'm in a house. Not my house, but my good friend Jacob's house. And so, trying to keep this fairly simple, fairly straightforward. You make plans, God laughs, is the saying of 2025 for me. When I moved to Austin, I guess I kind of was naive a little bit of just like taking the risk on not knowing, but this is spicy, of trying to make things work, thinking I have everything I need to make things work, which I do. But the reality was I was trying to squeeze as much of what I had, and to a point where it became not enough. And just like for some context and clarity, thinking I'm going to move to Austin, my frame of mind in the new year of 2025 was I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to get more clients. I'm going to explore. I don't know what this looks like. I'm excited, but I had a fairly ambitious goal to say, okay, I want to add 5 new clients at a $5,000 retainer. That's going to bring us up MRR wise, and then we're going to allocate those resources for more talent, and we had a bigger team. Basically, that all went out the window and led us, for some context, we started with 5 people on the team, 3 editors. We're down to 1 creative coordinator, still 1 creative coordinator, and then myself trying to just come up with strategies, next plans, so on and so forth. None of it worked. I learned a lot, but it was very interesting to be in that state where you're asking yourself the question of like, why am I, like, when things don't work out according to your plan, you always fall back on your why. You fall back on your determining, why is this not working? And there's mosquitoes out here. But why is this not working, right? And so that caused me to ask myself that question. And I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And I think that's just like, that's the beauty of business. That's the beauty of anything you're trying to build, right? Like, you quote unquote reap the rewards, but like, are the rewards worth it? Like, what are you trying to gain from this, right? So I kind of went through that period, beginning of the year, like, just to kind of like recap. And again, I want to keep it short. Coming into this year not knowing, but having plans or goals, trying to execute those goals not being accomplished. It's half of the year in, and you're kind of like still hoping or, praying for a miracle. And I feel like, I've mentioned this in the past, like part of why I moved down south was to grow in my spirituality, grow closer to God, surround myself with people that are God-fearing, God-loving people. And I've done that. And it showed me, what is the actual value of life, and what should we value in people and community and so on and so forth. And then it starts to like slowly dissolve why I thought I was building a business, because it was kind of for selfish reasons, or, thinking that was like my calling or purpose. And I'll be honest, I'm still operating the business, but, I got a job 2 months ago. And the reality is like, I was heading in a direction that was not sustainable. And, it was stressful. I really didn't have any peace. So during the summer towards like fall, I got really actually more like summer, I got really in my head about just like what I was doing. I wouldn't say I got depressed, but it was like, I was meeting people and I was getting invited to stuff, but I was like, I didn't want to do anything. I laid in bed all day. And knowing like mentally, you're like, okay, I need to figure this problem out, or else, I'm not going to have any money by like next month, or I got to figure out how to pay rent, so on and so forth. Draining your savings, draining your investments, like that only is so sustainable. And so I'm getting to this, like, clock is ticking, but I'm laying in bed and I can't get myself to like do anything. Get myself to like address, because I like reflecting on like why am I doing this, and I didn't have that answer. And so it ultimately led down this path of just like, well, let's look at what we've been doing and why we've been doing what we've been doing. And ultimately, like, running a business was like the way out, or what equaled success, and how we're gonna make, like, it was our end all be all type of thing. And I do still believe that there's value in owning your own asset, right? Like a business, because that will ultimately never let you down. It's hard, get clients and scale, but if you have a ship in a sea of water, it's better than not, right? And ultimately what I mean by that is like, if you work at a job, and many people that I know recently, like, getting let go from a job, it's like you're at the mercy of that job. Versus me, great, super grateful for the community and like my skill set and so on and so forth. That will always get me work. Just depends on the type of work, right? Some is more enjoyable than others, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of been it. I've been kind of in a lot better place now, financially, spiritually, of course, emotionally, physically. That's what we're working on this year. And granted, it's just, I've recognized everything has its seasons. Make the most of that season. Understand this too shall pass. And I think when you try to force seasons to change, you're trying to play God. And I think I've learned and determined I want to submit to God during that season and just identify, like, what do I need to be focusing on in this season? Right now, it's mainly just like building back up, savings, investing. I have a pretty solid like routine flow. Just hired a coach in boxing. So, and in the beginning of the year, I was like creating content for the sake of creating, to do something while I was looking for clients, because I thought that was also like the marketing mechanism that was going to bring me more clients. I will be very transparent. Like, it is, if you're trying to build something long term, which is what I am. And I was looking at short-term results, like getting clients like from a YouTube channel, when the reality is like, I want a YouTube channel to serve as this is what you're going to get. I'm not here to sell you Fugazi or this, altered image of social media, because I think we have a bias like to put our best foot forward. But this channel in particular was meant to be served as like transparency and vulnerability and whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I'm hungry. There's probably more I could share, but right now, top of mind, there isn't much because I have no fuel and food in me. So if you want to know anything, and if you've been watching this, Shout out to the homies, all of y'all that have, 889, I think was last time I checked. That's a lot. And I kind of took it for granted and didn't really give or just like, I didn't conceptualize that or like really think about it. I'm just thinking, it's just like another number. But when you think about people and like it being real people, it's like, it's a lot of people. So appreciate y'all. See my y'all, I'm at Texas. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to share more. I just think it's, shout out Lamont. I think I'm saying your name right, but he DM'd me on Instagram and had asked about a YouTube video. Sorry it took this long, but that's kind of the realities of life, is like you plan for things. Again, God laughs, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't value it. I think it's just like what, again, time or season that you're in, that you're focusing on. And so right now it's been focusing on my job, kind of adding value there, focusing on like the direction of the company. I think that's what this year has also been interesting, is like, I thought I wanted to head down I want, like an example, I wanted to sell a blue product, but the reality is like I sell a red product. And I can explain more in a different video, but yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. All right, wrapping this up. Peace, love. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. God loves you. Peace.